All right, guys, we are back. It's been about 3 weeks. Been waiting for parts, waiting for that head gasket that, if you guys don't remember, came damaged from Cometic, but they took care of it. But we got the new one, have a new oil pickup, have some new rocker retainers, which I hear is really good. So we are ready to make more progress on this engine. If you're new to the channel or the build, this is a 2013 BRZ supercharged. Customer threw a rod bearing about 8 months ago or so. And we are throwing in an IAG short block, as well as upgrading the fuel system. So now that we have the parts, let's get back into this build. So like I said earlier, for those of you who don't remember or are new, this head gasket came with a manufacturer defect. You can see it right there, which allows it obviously not to clamp down all the way. And if I did not catch this, it probably would have either damaged the head or the block or both, which would have been catastrophic when it comes to money. So glad I caught this, but we did get a new one replaced from Cometic. Great to work with. Other things that we got are a new pickup tube. Obviously this is a Killer B one. What's nice about this is welded all the way around, so just making things a little safer, less chance of this screen failing. Killer B always makes a great product. Then we have the, I honestly have no idea how to pronounce this, Denstoj. I don't know, Australian company. I guess a common thing for these FA and FB engines are these rockers falling off. So with this kit, you have little retainers as well as new lower rockers that allow the retainer to clip on. This makes it so the rocker cannot fall off, and we will get more into that when we're actually getting the rockers installed. But for now, let's get this head gasket on. This head has been sitting here waiting under plastic because I was ready to put it on, and then obviously found the failed gasket. We have the gasket, let's get this on. So obviously, just like in the last video, reminder, we do have ARP head studs, which will be going into here. It'll be the exact same process as before. Take your time, do the right torques, and everything will go smooth. Now remember, when you're putting these in, you are not having to torque these down. Just bottom them out, give them a little, they should be good to go. Now before you get your nuts onto here, make sure that you lube the nut and the thread as well using ARP's recommended lube. This is what makes sure that you will have the proper torque that they're calling for, and these are 30, 60, 95 if you don't remember from the last video. So we'll get all these on and we can torque them down to their proper spec. So another thing that you want to make sure to do correctly is tightening these in the correct order. You will have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That just makes sure that the clamping load is getting distributed in the correct manner and evenly. So that is an important step. I just got done with the 30 foot-pounds up to 60. Let's get her done. So we have everything bolted down, our new O-rings here. Don't forget your screens that go into your cam girdle here. Just like the other side, this is all brand new from Subaru. If you remember right, we did have scoring on the old stuff, so we did get new girdles, caps, and cams, all of that directly from Subaru. So that is always good peace of mind. Little heads up, don't forget your, I honestly don't even know what this is, a blocker plate, something. Don't forget this, I almost did. Luckily, I remembered right before I was ready to throw her on. Silicones all on. Remember, don't go too much. Last thing you want is for excessive silicone to break off inside your engine. So just enough to seal it. All right, got everything torqued to spec, 13.3 foot-pounds. These are just sitting on here. We will start worrying about cams tomorrow because that is going to be a long journey of measuring and figuring out shims and all that. So we'll let that be a tomorrow project. What's up, guys? It is the next day, so I have some time to fully mentally dive into this rocker system, and hopefully I can explain it and what it is. So there's this guy or company, he's down in Australia. I hope I don't butcher his name. Denstoj. He designed this kit, or they did, that they send you these little retaining clips along with new lower, and as you can see, this has that little ridge around it that will actually clip into this retaining clip. Because I guess a common thing to happen is these rockers are only held in with the spring pressure and the cam, and if anything odd happens, like a backfire or you're just revving high RPMs, these can actually fall out like so, and then all of a sudden you can drop a valve or damage your piston. Kind of a horror story. So this is their fix for it, and I think anyone that is modifying I would recommend doing this because it's just kind of a peace of mind that these will not fall out, because it sounds like it is a common occurrence even on a stock engine. So these are designed to be pretty much drop in. I'm sure you're gonna have to remeasure your shims. These little caps on the valves are actually shims. They have a little number on them somewhere that you can barely see or not see. But these have a different thickness to get your clearances correct. So we're gonna be putting the cams on. These are all brand new, and get them on, torque down the caps, and we can start measuring the clearances. All right, guys, so I think I have all of my measuring done, and I think I can make at least one side work, and then there are some shims that I need to buy. So when you're going through this process, you're going to be putting the cams on, tightening everything down, and then using a feeler gauge to figure out your clearance. And so the spec here is pretty much between 4 and 6 thousandths. And so as you can see here, we're pretty good. That one is a little high, but is good. But then on the exhaust, we have pretty much from 8 to 10.5 thousandths. And here there's just one that's pretty far out of spec. It should be 8 thousandths, and we're only at 5.5 thou. So that is the shim that's in it, a 2.18 millimeter. So here you can see that we are a little tight at 5.5. We need 8 thousandths, so we need a smaller shim because that will shrink at least one of the objects that is causing the clearances. So we're going to drop this down to 212. Try that. It takes about 0.2 millimeters for 1 thousandths, and here we are about 2.5 to 3 thou. So this 6.6 millimeters should be enough. So one thing that you can do is, okay, coming down to the other side, I know that here, here we have a 212. So I can take this 212, I know I'm gonna have to replace it with something smaller. So I can take this 212 and bring it up to this here because I know I need that. I can rob it from here and get this side completely done. Then I'll just have to buy these shims to get this side done, but I can at least get one side done. So I'm going to be robbing this, moving over to the right bank, and hopefully redo everything, and everything should line up. Okay, looking at my notes, it is exhaust number 4. How I labeled these, this is the exhaust, you can tell because obviously this is where the exhaust intake is the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is how I labeled them. So if I lift this rocker up, pull the shim, I don't know if you guys will be able to read it, but it says, yeah, it says 212 on there. You can barely see it. So I'll be taking this, robbing it, then I'll probably put the cams back on, not tie them down, flip it over, and I can do the other side. Finally, after I don't know how many times, this side is ready to go. I just kept fighting this one exhaust clearance. I ended up putting in, I stole the 2.209 from the other bank, because originally I was going to do a 210. I was like, oh, 209 should be close enough, but even the 209 was a hair tight. So I actually ended up using some 600 grit sandpaper, got some oil on there, and just shaved it down just enough, and the 8 thou slips in there good now. So we're ready to seal this side up. You just got to remember, close enough doesn't count it when you're building an engine like this. Take the time, do it right, no matter how many times, do it right, get to where it needs to be. So with that being said, we're finally ready to slap this on, get the retainer clips on, figure out how they go on. But yeah, I'm excited to put this together for the last time. All right, so we got the retainer clips on all of these. Very simple to install. I'll walk you through this last one. So here we have the lower rocker replacement. I know it's hard to tell, but you can see that there is this little lip as compared to the old one. And this is what allows the retainer clip to attach onto this lower rocker. Like so. It will sit in that groove. So first of all, you will take your rocker and it just slides over just like that. Easy peasy. And then this just goes in like that. So you can see this is connected, they will not come apart, and this is what will prevent this rocker from slipping out or doing anything weird. Very simple fix, but very cool. So it's cool seeing people improving things. I would highly recommend if you are modifying your engine at all. All right, we finally got all the shims figured out on this other bank. I was able to move some shims around, and I had to kind of shave some shims down a little bit. This is just some 400 grit paper, put some oil on there, and I just rub the surface of the shim until it's good. Then I finish it off with 600 to smooth it off, and we got all of them within spec. So that is good. We didn't have to buy any shims because they're like 10 bucks a piece. So they add up quick. But we can get this side together, which is pretty exciting. So just need to finish oiling the lower rockers. I'll just take these out, dip them in some oil, and then just drop them into place. So I'll do that with all of them, get the clip on everything, and we can throw the cams in. All right, guys, I've done a few things, such as putting the oil pan on, this little bracket here. Nothing crazy. I also got the timing cover completely cleaned, pressure washed, all that. Took a long time. Silicone, all the fun stuff. Cleaned the oil pump, removed these, cleaned them all, got all of the old oil out of the way. So this is ready to go. I even made my cam tool so I can tighten down the cam gears here, and I think we are ready to start doing the timing chain. So I guess we'll first start with getting these cam gears on. Intake, right hand side. Tighten. All right, little recap of where we are at. So for the left-hand bank, you have to, I don't know, it's a little different than what you would think. You need to align this mark on the gear. If you can see it, you can kind of see it right there. It's right next to the key, one tooth over, and that will face this dowel pin here. And over here we have a mark on the cam, and that is, I don't know, it's kind of a weird, the arrow here kind of faces, oh, it's definitely a little different than what you would think. So you'll line these up weird, but then you crank it and rotate it to where they need to be to do the other side. So in theory, once I rotate this, it should line up so that this mark is facing down and these arrows will be together. So I guess we'll rotate it and see if that happens. Well, I guess I did something right, because here you can see that our cams are in line with each other, and then the key should be facing down in line with the center of the crank. So I guess that is all correct. Now I guess we set it to this so that we can time the other side. All right, everything's lined up there. Mark, mark, and then your blue mark is gonna line up with the same place as your other one. So in theory, all of these should rotate, go slowly because now your valves are attached. If you feel something hit, know that that is a valve kissing a piston. Alright, we should be coming along home. Wait for these timing marks to line up. Boom. These should be lined up. Boom. Keyway should be facing down. Alright. I think we have her aligned correctly. Now we can throw the timing cover on and wrap this engine up. Well guys, we got the timing cover all on. Everything went really good. With the timing cover, just remember you'll have 4 O-rings that will go inside of here to replace, and then all your siliconing all the way around, and then where these 10mm bolts are, there's 5 of them that go across the front here. They all have spots that need silicone, but other than that, pretty straightforward. But I think I'm gonna end this one here. Don't want this video getting too long. We do have the engine closed up. That's what I wanted to see. And now we can just start throwing the accessories on and she'll be ready to drop into the car. So that is coming quick. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.